Lauren from Wags Redefined, and I'm joined by Hope Wiseman and sisters Kierra Douglas and Ariel Anderson of Wags Atlanta, a new reality TV series on E! Thank you, ladies, for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
So let's just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about where you're from originally and how you ended up in Atlanta. Hope, let's start with you.
So I'm from PG County, Maryland. I came down here originally to go to Spelman College, where I majored in economics, and I graduated from there. I first met Kierra when I was crowned Miss Fulton County by her, and that was in 2010 when I moved down here. So that was really exciting. And then I first met Ariel when I tried out for the Falcons and made the team, and I cheered with them for 2 years with Ariel.
Very cool. How are you?
I'm from Douglasville, Georgia.
Okay.
So I'm basically in Atlanta already, but I officially moved to Atlanta once I started cheering. So that way it wouldn't be like a hard commute going from Douglasville to Atlanta.
Right, makes sense.
I'm born and raised.
Okay.
I'm Georgia Beach. So yeah, we're both from Douglasville, Georgia. We're about 20-30 minutes right outside of Atlanta in the suburbs. But yeah, Atlanta has always been home for me.
Okay, very nice. And it's very cool that you all cheered for the Falcons together.
Yes, we all cheer professionally, and we also were all like pageant girls, kind of in the world of pageantry. So yeah, we have a lot in common.
Yeah, very nice. So you all were casted on the show because you are, or at one point have been connected to professional athletes. So let's talk about that lifestyle a little bit, the lifestyle of a WAG. So what's the craziest situation you've been in as a WAG? I know one of you has a story.
I've been in a lot of crazy situations. I don't know the craziest one. I just think it's a common theme, especially as someone who's just dating athletes and who's not yet found the right one, may or may not be an athlete. But I think everyone just deals with infidelity. And I mean, I dealt with a lot of that. So yeah, that's been that's a common denominator.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them cheat.
Not all of them, though. I will say that's
rare.
Like they said, that's definitely something that I feel like that WAGs have to deal with sometimes. And it's sad because I think it gives it kind of gives some of the good guys a bad name.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the case all the time. I definitely dealt with it early on in my relationship, but we were able to kind of mature and grow and move past that. And it's sad because I'm like, not all of them are cheaters. They grow and they learn and they become better people, and it just kind of puts a damper over so much of the good things that they do because they are a lot of them that are active in the community and that are role models and that are really dominating their sports careers, and it's good to just kind of have a little positive light every now and then.
Amen to that. And I think a lot of women can relate to that in and out of the lifestyle. So let's talk a little bit. I'm a WAG myself, so I understand some of what really goes on and some of the challenges, but other people might not. So what are some of the stereotypes that you all have come across as a WAG, or some of the misconceptions?
Definitely cleat chaser.
Yeah.
We're all about finding an athlete. That's always what people assume once they figure out, oh, you've talked to an athlete? That's all you want. Always.
And I think that a lot of people believe that just because you might, be attracted to a man that is like that, that all you want to do is kind of be like arm candy, be like a trophy wife. When in reality, a lot of times, a lot of WAGs are established business women, and they have a lot going on. They have dreams and aspirations as well outside of their man that have nothing to do with him. So I think that gets overshadowed a lot, and I think especially, as single people in this world, I think a lot of people, I think that's where the misconception of like, you don't want to do your own thing. And it's like, that's not true, just because I might have dated people like this in the past that has nothing to do with my dreams and aspirations. So
yeah,
I think that's normal.
Well, they pretty much have hit on it, but just to piggyback a little bit off what Hope said, that's definitely the case. Me, myself being a business owner and entrepreneur, you definitely kind of, sometimes people put you in the shadow and the focus is more so on your, significant other. But we are, you know, women who are on our grind and doing our own things. And I think another misconception is that, you know, the WAG world is just all glitz and glam, but there's a lot of hard work and things that go on behind the scenes, and there's a lot of sacrifice that you have to make. You know, if you are a go-getter and you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to kind of make those moves outside of your husband or significant other, you know, there's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work that goes into that.
Well, let's move on to business. That's one of my favorite topics. All three of you ladies are business owners. #girlboss. I love it. Hope, let's start with you. You have a more of an unconventional business. So I'll let you talk more about what you do with Mary & Main.
Yeah, so I am opening a medical cannabis dispensary in Maryland, where I'm from, 10 minutes down the street from where I went to high school. So it's really exciting. And it's exciting to be a part of this industry as such a young African-American woman, because there are very few African-Americans, period, in the industry. It's brand new. It's still kind of, it is very interesting. It is. You know, seeing as we've been the ones who've been locked up for the same things that I'm now about to do legally. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to kind of pave the way for other African Americans and millennials alike to have ownership within this industry, because it's slated to be one of the biggest industries in the U.S. Next year. It's already going to be at $6 billion, and not even every state has legalized. So I believe that this industry is going to be a way for African Americans to really make a name in something that they've been prosecuted for years now. So I'm really excited.
Yes, love that. Now talk a little bit about what your day-to-day is like.
Right now my day-to-day is like absolutely insane, because I'm like traveling all over. I'm doing a lot of media and a lot of press leading up to our opening. And you know, beforehand I was traveling back and forth between Atlanta and Maryland, and I'm still kind of doing that. So it's really like it's tiring on me. And then on top of it, you know, opening a business, you're kind of wearing 10 different hats at once. You're the marketing director, you're doing operations, you know, I'm the contractor during our build out. Like, I'm doing so many different things. I'm taking phone calls all the time, you know. So by 8 o'clock every day, I'm like, all right, y'all, peace out. Like, it's time for me to go to sleep. I've completely changed kind of the way that I've had to live my life. But I think all the sacrifice is worth it. I feel so fulfilled. I'm happy, and I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I feel like I'm really like walking in my purpose. So I'm excited.
That's great. I'm excited for you. I have one more question, because I do have an interest in this, or knowing more, because you don't hear about it.
You don't hear about
often.
it.
So what is the number one question you get about your business? What question do you keep getting over and over again?
There's really two. So like, I want to start a dispensary. How do I start a dispensary? I'm like, that is not like a question and answer type of thing. That's like really like a whole, for me, it was a 3-year process. So it's definitely not something I can just say. And then the other one is, how do you afford it? How are you able to do it? Because a lot of people look up the regulations, and then they see like ridiculous, you know, I mean, just the application costs can be like upwards of $5,000. And then like your actual licensing fee is normally in the hundreds of thousands. And that's just to hold the license. So people are like, you know, how can you afford this? Well, the answer is, you know, I raised money and I had partners. Wow. So, I mean, that's how I did it. But it's definitely not something that it's like, oh, I can save up, you know, $10,000 and open a dispensary. No, it's a very, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. So that's been probably the most common question lately.
Okay, now Kierra, you have several things going on right now. Let's start with your boutique, Closet Couture. Now, how did that come about?
I love fashion. I think every woman, every girl loves, you know, shopping and things of that nature. So really, it's something that it was a hobby for me. I actually opened it up with a relative, and then she decided that she was going to do another venture. So I ended up doing it alone. I opened it when I was like 6 months pregnant.
Oh my
it was really challenging, but it was very fulfilling, you know, and so here we are today. I've had it for about 2 years now, and it's, you know, it's just so much fun just to be able to shop and be able to, you know, make money off of it and do it for a living has really been a dream come true.
That's great, and I checked out your website. Super cute clothing.
This is from Closet Couture.
Oh, okay. Yes. So what would you say is your ideal customer?
I I would say I really kind of want to appeal to, you know, a wide array of women. But women, I think that, you know, are stylish, are sophisticated, but yet, you know, want a little edgy, you know, a more contemporary, a little bit flashy, you know, but also your everyday, regular working woman.
Okay, love that. Now, the two of you, sisters, Kierra and Ariel, you have two businesses going on. You're the co-owners of a dance studio, Just Dance Studio,
Yes.
and then Ariel Talent
Yes,
Agency.
Ariel Talent.
So I'm sensing a passion for dance.
Yes, of course.
So let's talk a little bit about how dance has impacted your life.
I mean,
Well, we've both been dancing forever.
we've been dancing probably since like 4 or 5, I don't know, like a really long time.
So why not go into business doing what we love?
So yeah, it's for us. I would say like the boutique is fun, you know, it's just something, it's a hobby. But for this, like this is my passion. You know what I mean? This is our purpose. This is, you know, why we do what we do is to impact others. And I think this gives us the platform to do so because, you know, we have hundreds and hundreds of kids that, you know, come through our doors.
So why not teach them
And
what we love to
we're
do?
able to not only, you know, instill those dance skills, but we also, you know, are helping them build self-esteem, learning them to work as a team, you know, and just, you know, day-to-day issues. You know, it's fun to kind of like mentoring the girls, and we even have a group of boys that are really good
Oh, wow.
as well. So yeah, it's just being able to kind of like make that lasting impression, that impact on, you know, today's youth.
Yeah.
So what's it like going into business with your sister? I have to ask.
It's fun. No, I'm kidding. It's good and bad because since she is my sister, we do go off on each other every now and then.
Are you guys opposites or are you a lot alike?
I don't know. I feel
No,
like
they're not alike.
we
In
are
some ways.
similar in certain ways, but
Some
we do differ in a lot of things as well, personality wise.
So, yeah.
I'm really we're both really calm and chill, but I don't know. Yeah.
So
I'm
It's
like,
just
no
it's
comment.
just-
I know, I'm like,
I
no
think
comment.
it's just what makes it hard for us is that when you, and this is a family business as well, my mom is very involved. She's a partner as well in the studio and the talent agency. But it's like for us, I would say the hardest part is that your work goes home with you. It never stops. So I could invite Ariel over to come and play with her niece, and I'm like, hey, we're talking, and then next thing you know, we're talking about business stuff. Or my mom will call us at like midnight asking us questions about the business, and we're like, Mom, it's
midnight.
it's midnight,
Where
you
you
know.
come?
Let's you know, say the downside is that your work goes home with you, and it,
At
you
all
know,
times, it's going on.
even at family events or things like that, it's
Like, can we
constantly.
just enjoy our family dinner? Why are we talking about this?
Y'all know I know, because my mom and I
Right.
are Mary and Maine together.
Okay.
So yeah, you know,
Content,
all
yeah.
day. That's all we talk about, and sometimes, you know, we even have to take a break and just say like, okay, today, like for at least for an hour,
Right,
we
just
just
give it a
like,
rest.
you know, let's just be mom and Hope, and
Yeah,
not like, you know,
yeah.
the CEO and COO of Mary and Maine for a second.
I can see how that would be challenging for
Yeah.
sure. So are we gonna see you guys get along on the show, or there's some heated disagreements?
Well,
in real life, we get along.
in real life, we get along really great. I mean, anytime there's Ariel might hang up on me sometimes,
A lot of
but we're really good about, you know, nipping things in the bud and moving forward. I mean, because we're sisters, you know, we don't
Can't
fight
stay
like
mad
that.
too long.
We can't,
Right.
you know, even if we don't agree on something, we agree to disagree and move on. And usually my mom is like the referee, she's the common denominator. So if we can't agree on something, she will be the deciding factor on, you know, which route we're going to take and what we're going to do to move forward. So
On the show, you may catch us in an argument.
on the show, though, that's the only thing about reality. You know, I think you know you have to have a little bit of something, a little bit of spice,
Right.
a little bit of drama to keep the viewers entertained. So you will definitely see us, you know, talk a lot and kind of have butt heads a little bit when it comes to the business. And I don't want to give too much away, but you will definitely see Ariel, you know, kind of put it all out there.
Okay. Okay. Speaking of the show, let's talk about WAGS Atlanta and how that came about. And did you guys know that you want to do the show right away, or was it something that
Definitely not.
We definitely had to think about it.
We
Yeah,
definitely had to
all
think
of
about
us.
it. I will say, for me, reality TV was something that had been in my life for probably about 2 years before the show came along. We actually, my husband and I had a pilot with E, a family-based show on our lives. And so we were working on that with E, and then I did, I think, 2 other pilots after that. I did a pilot for E, another one as well. So E was very familiar with me. And I actually did like a trial period with one of the really, one of the biggest shows here in Atlanta. So I had, ins and outs with reality TV, and so I wasn't quite comfortable with it yet, but I was able to kind of get a different perspective where I was like, okay, well, it doesn't have to necessarily be all negativity and drama. It can be fun and family oriented. So that was definitely an eye opener. Being able to work on my own show was kind of like, okay, well, maybe I wouldn't mind being on reality TV. I'm normally a very, very private person, so I will say that's probably going to be the hardest part for me. Having people in your life and in your business. But it was definitely, when WAGs came along, my husband was like, wait a minute, WAGs?
I always wonder, like, what are the husbands feel?
My husband was very reluctant at first. He was all on board with us doing our own thing, but when it comes to, being in a large group with other girls, those are normally associated with a lot of drama.
Right.
So his thing was, there's a lot of negative stigma associated, and I know I will say a lot of the wives that I know don't necessarily feel all warm and fuzzy about the WAGs franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was definitely something we had to think about. But at the end of the day, my husband, is very supportive. And he's like, if this is something you want to do, then I will stand behind you. And for me, it was more so, it's an opportunity to, build my brand and have a platform, to do what I want to do business-wise. So his aspect is more, well, I know you, and I know that you will represent me and our family to the fullest. So I'm not really worried from that angle. And, we just decided we'll give it a try, and hopefully something positive will come from it.
What about you two? Same.
Yeah, for me, I mean, they brought it to me. It was kind of, Eve, of course, first approached Kierra, and I think Kierra probably told him about Ariel, and then
and then we're like, we have a third sister,
and threw me in there, and so I remember we went and did like test shots and everything, did like test screens, and I really didn't think too much of it. Like, I didn't think that it would actually happen. And then like months later, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, check your email, we got a contract, and it's like, okay. So it is happening, but for me, like, I told my ex that I was associated with that I was going to be on the show, and I told them, I'm probably going to talk about you. Just a heads up, I mean, and I guess as supportive from afar as he could be, he was, I guess, he wasn't like disappointed that I was doing it or embarrassed or anything like that. So I think that was different than what some other people and single people might experience on these types of shows, because normally guys are like,
don't mention me.
Oh, don't tell anybody, and he was just kind of like, well, I mean, people know, and it's okay, happy that something came out of it, I guess, for you. So I kind of look at it like, good, I'm happy something came out of it too. And I was dating someone while we were filming the show, and he was supportive, and he came on the show a few times. That also is no longer, but yeah.
But you'll watch the show, and we don't want to give too much.
Yeah, we won't give that away, but yeah.
Now, did you guys meet any of the other WAGs from LA or Miami?
We have not yet. I know there's been some social media interaction with a few of us, but I think one of our castmates is actually really good friends with some of the other girls, but we have not yet, and I absolutely love them, so I'm excited. I have my favorites, so I'm excited to hopefully meet a couple of them.
Well, just to wrap up, I want to know, do you guys have any advice for the WAGs who are looking to get casted by reality TV shows, or maybe have a pilot that they would pitch of their own?
That part,
What words of wisdom can you pass along?
Be yourself at all times.
I will say, I don't want to give too much away, but something that's very different about WAGs Atlanta than the other two franchises is that our particular brand is very family oriented.
Right.
It's really going to be about women empowerment and the sisterhood of WAGs, and just more of a positive feel. There will be, of course, there's always a little
drama,
a
it's
tiny
not
bit.
Like women attacking each other.
But I feel like we have less drama probably than the other franchises, and we're a lot more family oriented. The significant others and husbands are a lot more present, and I think that's what makes us different. And I would say advice to anyone else: be yourself, because that's what we did, and that's how we kind of ended up with a different scenario than the other two franchises. That we're all have really good sense of humor.
I would say if you're really trying to be be yourself, be witty, you know, have fun. I think it took us a while to warm up to the cameras.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, the first month filming,
awkward.
all of us. I mean, because pretty much, besides very few of us, I mean, none of us have done anything like this before.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very.
And are they there all the time, or how do they schedule?
We didn't do it like that.
Well, because it's a little different because we had a large cast, so there's 9 of us. So anytime you have 9 people trying to balance schedules, it was actually easier for us because we weren't filming constantly. With a smaller cast, I feel like you're going to film a lot more.
All the time.
But yeah, they gave us our privacy, you know, and we were able to schedule things out. But it was fun. You know, we enjoyed it.
Well, I'm excited. And then, is there anything else that you would like our audience to know about you, ladies?
We all love each other in real life.
Yeah, in real life. You know, in real life.
They may show us
In real
arguing
life,
or-
I would just say sometimes reality doesn't actually show reality. We have not seen the show. We actually will see it when everybody else sees it. So on January 3rd, make sure that you're watching.
I'll be tweeting. Or something. You guys
follow
can
us.
get to Twitter
Follow
again.
us.
Well, I'll be
go
tweeting
ahead,
or something.
shout out your social
type of
media.
stuff. Yeah. You can follow me on everything at I am Hope So Dope.
Because you are dope.
You can follow me at Ariel Ashley, Ariel, Ashley with 2 Y's.
Spell it out. You can follow me at Miss Kierra, and that's Kierra, Kierra, 2 A's at the end.
Can they actually follow you?
My page will
it's
be
private
open
right
very
now.
soon. I told y'all I'm a very private person. I have a problem. That's gonna
She
be
has
like-
all of like 600 followers.
Yeah, and all
She
like
just opened
pictures
it up.
of me and my family. Like I'm just not into all of that, but I'm working on that. And that's part of being.
Well, the show's gonna change all that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, if everybody would just tune in and just know, we hope to make a positive impact on everyone and show everybody what Atlanta's all about.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, ladies, for an awesome interview. You can catch Hope, Kierra, and Ariel on WAGS Atlanta, premiering January 3rd on E!